The Court of Appeal in Abuja has nullified the election of Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State. In a unanimous decision, the three-member panel on Sunday ruled that Mr. Mutfwang was not sponsored by his party, the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The court held that the appeal brought by Nentawe Goshwe of the All Progressives Congress, APC, was valid, as the issue of qualification was both a pre- and post-election matter under Section 177C of the Nigerian Constitution and Sections 80 and 82 of the Electoral Act 2022. The court ruled that the failure of the PDP to comply with the order of the Plateau State High Court in Jos, directing it to conduct valid ward, local governments and state congresses before nominating its candidates for the various elective posts, was a breach of the law. President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Berlin in Germany for the G20 Compact with Africa conference hosted by German Chancellor Olaf Scholz on Monday, November 20, 2023. The president's official plane, the Nigerian Air Force One, touched down at the Willy Brandt Brandenburg International Airport in Berlin at about 1:17 a.m. on Sunday. It was received by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tugar, and Chargé d'Affaires of Nigeria's embassy in Germany, Ambassador Ngenke Rechina Ocheni. During the conference, President Tinubu will join the heads of states and government of CWA member countries, bilateral partners, as well as heads of international organizations to deliberate on the immediate enhancement of economic and business cooperation with a view to outlining concrete measures to boost investments in critical areas such as energy, trade, infrastructure, and new technologies, among others. The G20 CWA conference will be taking place simultaneously with the fourth G20 Investment Summit, co-hosted by the German government and German business associations. In view of President Tinubu's globally recognized drive for foreign direct investment in Nigeria, the president will sustain the momentum and advance the mission further as he leads Nigeria's delegation to participate in the summit. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, will swear in 58 new senior advocates of Nigeria SANs on Monday, November 27, 2023, at the main courtroom of the Supreme Court as part of the programs lined up for the 2023-2024 legal year of the courts. In line with the age-long tradition, the CJN will, during the special court session, deliver a State of the Judiciary address that would highlight the performance of the apex courts and the Nigerian judiciary in general in the 2022-2023 legal year. Director of Press and Information of the Apex Court, Dr. Akonde Festus, made this known in a press statement he issued on Sunday in Abuja. According to him, other leading stakeholders in the justice sector will present speeches bordering on the state of the justice sector of the country at the occasion. The federal government has released a total of 4,068 inmates in all the custodial centers across the country in an effort to decongest the custodial centers in Nigeria. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, while flagging off payment of fines and compensations for inmates held on account of their inability to pay their fines as penalties for their crimes, on Saturday at the Medium Security Custodial Center, Kuje, Abuja, said the gesture is in line with the president's renewed hope agenda. The Petroleum Tanker Drivers PTD have threatened to exit its umbrella body, the Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, if its President Williams Akborega and General Secretary Afolabi Olawale do not resign. Benga Olawale, an ex-official of the PDT from Ibadan Depot, said in a statement on Sunday that their members will begin a nationwide protest to press home their demand. The statement directed PDD members across the country to move with leaves in front of their trucks to serve as a warning to NUPENG and police against interference and incessant harassment of their leaders. According to Olawale, Williams is not a member of NUPENG and as such lacks the competence to lead the union. He alleged that Williams was drafted into Petrol Station Workers of Nupeng PSW to enable him contest election as Nupeng president, which was a departure from the Nupeng constitution. Let's turn to other stories now. NDLEA, that is the Nigeria National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, has arrested a wanted drug kingpin Ibrahim Momo 7 years after he had escaped from Kuje prison in the FCT. Also known as Ibrahim Bendel, he was serving a prison term also for drug dealing when he escaped from custody. NDLEA spokesman Femi Babafemi stated on Sunday in Abuja that Momo was arrested in a raid on his hideouts at Filin Dapo Deidei area of Abuja. Babafemi described Momo as a notorious major distributor of illicit substances within the FCT and recalled that he was first arrested on November 17, 2014 with India hemp weighing 385.1 kilograms, prosecuted and convicted. He explained that Momo was convicted and sentenced to 7.5 years in prison on July 22, 2015, but escaped from prison custody on May 16, 2016. The agency operatives stormed the warehouse of fugitive Ibrahim Momo on November 20, 2022, and recovered 81 jumbo bags of India hemp weighing 1,287 kgs. Vice President Kashif Shettima on Saturday launched the Abdul Samad Rabiu Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship at the University of Maiduguri in Borno State. The 1 billion naira center was constructed and donated to the university by Abdul Samad Rabiu Africa Initiative to accelerate the growth and development of innovation and entrepreneurship among students and researchers. VP Shettima and Abdul Samad Rabiu were both awardees of honorary doctorate degrees of the university at the 24th combined convocation held on Saturday. Minister of State for Environment Isiaq Salako has emphasized that climate action is pivotal to realizing the 8 presidential priorities outlined by the current administration. Salako stated this on Saturday in Abuja during the launch of a project mapping climate change impacts and policies across Nigeria's 36 states. He noted that managing environmental issues and climate change successfully requires full participation from sub-national governments and all citizens. The minister noted that climate vulnerabilities differ nationwide based on regional variations, with northern areas experiencing more severe effects like droughts and desertification. Salako reviewed that the mapping projects assessed each state's climate awareness, actions taken, and needs to improve climate resilience, as it will help direct resources to the most vulnerable areas requiring urgent interventions. The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, has said President Bola Tinubu is committed to performing the Nigeria Police Force. According to him, apart from the Special Committee on Police Reform constituted by the President during the last National Police Council meeting, the Office of the NSA has agreed with the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, and the German Embassy for a comprehensive police reform initiative. A statement on Saturday by the Head Strategic Communication Office of the National Security Advisor, Zachary Mijinyawa, said Ribadu stated this during the meeting with the UNDP resident representative Mohamed Yahya and the German ambassador to Nigeria, Annette Gunther. During the meeting, the NSA reiterated President Tinubu's commitment to leading a comprehensive police reform process anchored on trusts, human rights, rule of law, and efficient public service. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Mohammed Ali Pate, says the health of Nigerians was not just a matter of well-being, but also a fundamental human right. Ali Pate made this known at the 64th session of the National Council on Health in Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State. Pate says the UHC, which is the universal health coverage, was the embodiment of the vision for a healthier and more prosperous nation, as well as a strategic advantage for Nigeria as a nation, adding that though great progress had been made over the years, the pace has not been commensurate with the investments and complexities of the country's health system. According to him, the federal government is putting in place necessary structure and framework to effectively and efficiently address the wider determinants of health. Party said effective governance is the bedrock upon which universal health coverage stands. Let's turn to Nigeria's southwest now, where Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has come under intense criticism over the approval of 7.5 million naira to replace liquid fragrance in his office and 3 billion naira to purchase rechargeable fans for the office of his deputy, Obafemi Hamzat. Other contracts awarded by the State Public Procurement Agency, PPA, in the second and third quarters of 2023 include approval of over 440 million naira for the purchase of a new Lexus LX 600 bulletproof sport utility vehicle for use in the pool of office of Chief of Staff. 18.5 million naira for the supply and distribution of 2,000 Nola chickens across the local government areas and wards in the state for the office of Chief of Staff. And approved 152 million naira for the restoration of water supply at the official residence of the Oba of Lagos, as well as other allocations. The 2023 governorship candidates of the Action Democratic Congress ADC in Lagos, Funsho Doherty, who raised questions about some of the contracts, said he has written an open letter to the governor to review some of the projects. Police in Bayelsa have nabbed one of the suspected killers of SP Bako and Bashim, former divisional police officer of Ahoda Division in Rivers. The police spokesman in Bayelsa, CSP Ansenim Buswat, stated on Saturday that the suspect, Onyekachi Ikowa, the second in command to Tubaba, leader of the dreaded Icelander cult group in Rivers, was arrested on November 18. It says, based on intelligence report, that Ikowa was hibernating in Yenagoa, Bayelsa state capital, after the Carlos murder of late SP Agbashim in September. Commissioner of Police in Bayelsa, Francis Idu, charged that he be fished out. The senior special assistant to the president on school feeding, Yetunde Adeniji, has disclosed that the federal government plans to feed 100,000 displaced children in the north. Adeniji revealed the plan when her delegation sought the support of the Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule and the Emir of Borgu Kingdom, Mohammed Dantoro, to help facilitate the program during a familiarization tour. The presidential aide said the federal government plans to start with 5,000 of the displaced children for the first phase of the feeding initiative, with the hope of increasing the number to 100,000 subsequently. This was disclosed in a statement issued in Abuja on Saturday by her media team. The General Officer Commanding 3 Division Nigeria Army, Major General A.E. Abubakar, has pledged to ensure the security and safety of National Youth Service Corps NYSC members serving in Plateau State. Speaking during a visit to the NYSC orientation camp in Jos, Plateau State capital this week, Abubakar outlined efforts by his command and the military's Operation Safe Haven to maintain peace in Plateau, as contained in a statement released on Saturday via the Nigeria Army's X account. Abubakar urged the Corps members to remain vigilant and provide security agencies useful information to apprehend suspicious persons. He advised them to shun social vices and bylaw abiding. The senior commander warned that there will be no hiding place for criminals, as Operation Safe Haven troops are committed to hunting them down. The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, has urged road users to prioritize safety as they ply the roads before, during, and after the Yuletide. The Delta State's FRSC Sector Commander, Basi Eshet, gave the advice during a visit to road crash victims at the Federal Medical Center, Asaba, Delta State capital, on Saturday in Asaba. Eshet described the road accident crashes and fatalities as a public health crisis that requires urgent, concise, and dedicated actions. He called on government, stakeholders, and the public to uplift proven strategies such as redesigning dangerous roads, enforcing speed limits, and improving vehicle designs and all components to make the roads safe for users. You're watching Global TV AM News, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using our Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the AM News returns, Customs handover seized fake $10,000 to EFCC. The news continues shortly with details of these and other stories right after this break. Please don't go away. This is Global TV Television, bringing you live broadcast of the AM News from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. On the foreign scene, the unscrewed Starship spacecraft launched aboard the most powerful rockets ever built on Saturday morning were lost shortly after liftoff. The Super Heavy rocket Bullstar ignited its 33 massive engines, and Starship experienced a state liftoff but failed. SpaceX on Saturday carried out the second test launch of Starship, the largest rocket ever built that Elon Musk hopes will one day colonize Mars, while NASA awaits a modified version to land humans on the moon. It comes after a first attempt to fly the spaceship in its fully stacked configuration back in April ended in a spectacular explosion over the Gulf of Mexico. The death toll from a strong earthquake off the southern Philippines rose to 7 on Saturday, while rescuers also searched for 2 people feared buried beneath a landslide. The 6.7 magnitude quake that struck the Mindanao region mid-afternoon on Friday caused part of a shopping mall ceiling to collapse, triggering power cuts and sent people fleeing into the streets. The quake damaged 60 houses in 4 provinces, as well as 32 roads and bridges in the region, rescuers said. Quakes are frequent in the Philippines, which sits along the Pacific Ring of Fire, an arc of intensive seismic as well as a volcanic activity that stretches from Japan through Southeast Asia and across the Pacific Basin. Let's turn to business now. Manufacturers of food and beverages have reduced production by 20% following declining demand from consumers as a result of persistent rise in prices reflected in further rise in food inflation rates to 31.52% in October. The fall in demand has also made it difficult for these manufacturers to sell finished goods, as their stock of unsold finished goods rose by 34.03% year-on-year to 78.82 billion naira in the 9 months ending September 30, 2023. Recall that the inflation rate in Nigeria has been on a constant increase, rising by 5.95% points to 26.72% in September 2023 from 20.77% a year ago, triggered by various factors, including high energy costs, insecurity, especially in the farming communities in Nigeria, Russia and Ukraine war, among others. Besides, the pump price of petrol, otherwise known as Premium Motor Spirit (PMS), has risen by 127.8% this year, alone from 257.127 per litre in January 2023 to an average of 560 naira per litre in September, all this combining to pressure consumer wallets and undermine their purchasing power. Besides, the pump price of petrol has risen by 127.8% just this year. The Nigeria Customs Service, Murtala Mohammed International Airport Command, says it has handed over seized fake $10,000 to officials of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Announcing this in a statement on Saturday, the command's public relations officer, Juliana Tomo, said a 41-year-old suspect, Ifeanacho Ubo, was arrested in connection with the seizure. She said that the suspect, who was heading to Brazil, contravened the Money Laundering Act of Nigeria. Tomo said the command made this seizure less than 2 months after the new Customs Area Controller, Charles Obi, was redeployed from Abia Imo Area Command to MMIA. Let's talk a bit of sports on the AM News now. Nigeria's Falconers have sealed qualification for the 4th round of the 2024 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifiers after defeating Tanzania 2-1 in Abuja on Sunday. The girls advanced to the next and final round 3-2 on aggregates after both teams battled to a 1-1 draw in the first leg last week. Janet Aiko Rowe broke the deadlock in the 15th minute after latching on to an assist from Esther Ajakai. The visitors restored parity through Jamila Rajani from a goal from scramble 5 minutes later. Comfort Florenshaw scored the winning goal for the Falconers on the hour mark off an assist from Olushola Shobowale. Nigeria will face Burundi in the 4th round, with the overall winner securing a place at the 2024 Under-20 Women's World Cup. Super Eagles goalkeeper Maduka Okoye has pulled out of the 2026 World Cup qualifiers against Lesotho and Zimbabwe due to issues with its international passport. Sharon Ajay, our sport correspondent, has details and more. We'll join Sharon later on at News Express here on Global Television to bring you more on sports. And that's it on Global AM News. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platforms using the handles now showing on your screen. I'm Uyag Mofwegbe.